First and foremost, I want to say Kawai Mo'ihel Bashim Yahshai Bashim Harakakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well, and honors to the brothers pushing this truth across the four corners with all sincerity. Disappointing checking in with another video, just to push. You gotta push these videos out, man. Gonna get into the Motb, the microchip implant in humans, human microchip implant. I don't know why they have it like that in Wikipedia. So, a human microchip implant is any electronic device implanted subcutaneously, subdermally, usually via an injection. Examples include an identifying integrated circuit, RFID, radio frequency identification device, encased in silicate glass, which is implanted in the body of a human being. This type of subdermal implant usually contains a unique ID number that can be linked to information contained in an external database, such as identity document, criminal record, medical history, medications, address book, and other potential uses. All right, and the scriptures covers all this and the identification of what is the Motb. All right, so I think it might be a better idea for me to get it first, and then maybe we'll go into some of the history, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up. I kind of wanted to get into definition, a little history, bring out Revelation 13:16. So we'll just start with the Revelation 13:16 on down, and then come back. All right, so just gonna pull it out. All right, Book of Revelation to 13:16. He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. And so that word, karag, mark is karagma, stamp, scratch, etching, right? Because you got to be scratched when you go further in. It goes into karax, karazo, peak or palisade, because that's what it's like. It's like a implantable thing, like a stake. It's kind of shaped like that in a way, certain models are shaped like that. Some look like a coin, but there's some that are kind of have that shape where they look not quite cylindrical, but more like kind of like a flat cylinder in a way. They have that shape, which shaped like a palisade or a pail, and you have to get surgery, and they put it and inject it subdermally, which means below, dermal, skin, so below skin. All right. Then it goes back to grafo, which means to write, written characters, fill with writing, draw, compose, which is going into the data. And they mentioned that medical history, criminal record, all these things are going to be together on this Motb. That's why it says rich and poor, right? So we're going to get into that, bank accounts, bank info, everything, working information, work history, background checks, everything that is done, with like computers, all that stuff is going to be tracked through the Motb. All right. And it says, see here, free and bond. All right, criminal history, criminal records. All right, all that stuff is going to be moved on to the Motb. All right, and through the Motb, they'll be able to, I guess, access those servers and be able to pull that information in real time on a monitor or whatever, and then they'll be able to look at it all through your skin, not by having to have your paperwork and things like that. Right? And he causeth, the word causeth, persuade the cause to make to do a thing. Right? So he's gonna make them do it. And why? Because it's gonna be Jacob's trouble, and this thing is gonna be pushed as the fix. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. right? So yeah, buy or sell, right? Because it's gonna be connected to the money, right? It's gonna be connected to, you receive your paycheck, how you pay for things, you know. So you're not gonna be able to sell, like accept payments or buy things without the MOTB, right? Or the name of the beast or the number of his name, the vibration of the system, man. It's bugging out. All right, and to go further into it, the name, the vibration, and the number, chi psi sigma, right, which means to cut in size, staff, the MOTB inserted into you. So that's how it's gonna be into it, you know. Here's wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast for his number of a man. His number is 603 score and 666, right? This damn devil's real heavy with this, with that number, man. A lot of his witchcraft and his, you know, basically rehashing of, Babylonian Kemetic mystery school systems, right? And pretty much follow that stuff, right? All kinds of horrible, odious acts. So you're gonna get into some history. So the first experiments with uh, radio frequency identification implant were carried out in 1998 by the British scientist Kevin Warwick. Um, I don't know. I think maybe they had one earlier than that. I thought they were talking about something. I know the Alex Jones and Aaron Russo thing. Maybe that happened before '98, but yeah, well, that's what they say. But I know the Elders and the Apostles talk about one. It was like some bar that had it out in like the '90s, but I don't know if it was before '98. Could have been '95. I don't know. There was a bar that basically the only way you could pay was with the MOTB. His implant was used to open doors, switch on lights, and cause verbal output within the building. After 9 days, the implant was removed and has since been held in the Science Museum in London. Right? Yeah, it's funny how they put it in London. Um, what is London? London's the business center, of the beast. With the Pentagon being the military center, the Vatican being the religious center. Right? It was the three unclean spirits. You know. Nokia Philips, now under NXP, March 18, 2024, Nokia Philips, now under NXP Semiconductors, and Sony established the NSC Forum, a nonprofit industry forum to advance the use of NFC, near field communication, wireless interaction in consumer electronics, mobile devices, and PCs. Standards include the four distinct tag types that provide different communication speeds and capabilities, covering flexibility, memory, data, memory security, data retention, and write endurance. NFC Forum promotes implementation and standardization of NFC technology to ensure interoperability between technology devices and services, which I believe is going to like the Internet of Things, like how your technology basically all work together, right? And you got Neuralink, right? So this is something they've been working on for 98, over 25 years, man. 28, 30 years almost, man. They've been working on this shit, probably before then, In 2021, the Subliminals tested a Windows 19 passport and a bioglass coated NFC chip designed to be implanted in the subcutaneous tissue, which is beneath the skin, has been demonstrated by its managing director, Hans Schobblad, who was a chip in his arm, but the product was not offered for sale. Alright, so yeah, man. I thought I saw in maybe it was this guy's his name seems kind of like Danish. I believe it might have been Denmark or Sweden. One of those places. There were people who took it to use it for passports. I believe I remember seeing something like that. So you see here people getting implanted. So yeah, scientists, several people who have it. Emil Grafstra. All right, so all these people here have already taken it. Right? If any of these guys taken it and are in America, let's see if any guys in America. Maybe this guy is dead if it's red. Mavis, no, it's me. See, I have a page for him. I don't see anyone that's from America here. If any of these guys, anyone that's taking it in America, they're doomed. All right, but if they're taking it and they're a heathen, whether or not you take the Motb, you're doomed. You're here in America. This place is gonna be your grave. You know what I mean? But those who take it, elsewhere, in the world, right? After the radiation dies down, man. It's kind of yet to be seen what we're gonna do. The rest of these people happen to survive World War III and have the Motb. They're still going into slavery, but maybe they might get killed first, and then you gotta reincarnate through the other slaves or whatever, and then they'll be slaves again, and they reincarnate. All right. Also, this is the book of Revelation to 14:9. The angel followed him, saying with a loud voice, "Any man worship the beast in his image, or receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand." All right. So those are two warmest parts of the body. Your right hand and your forehead. All right, because that's one of the places where they want to put it, because of the most blood flow. However, you're forbidden from taking the Motb anywhere on your body. All right, because you're probably gonna have some of these, fucking, Tinkerbell, fucking alphabet people take their shit in their butt cheek or something stupid like that, man. So you would get cute by putting the left hand, put it on their fucking bicep or some shit. So, oh, see, I took it. It's not on my right hand, on my forehead, so I guess I'm alright. It's like, you just condemned yourself to destruction, buddy. Alright, so, of course, the image. Can't forget about the image. It's the laws. Because America's Rome reincarnated. Let's hurry up here. Satan shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. Alright, so let's talk about, America. When America is destroyed, anyone that's here in America, is that taking the chip, you're not making it. Alright. If you were Jake and you take the chip, you can't repent. You just not make it. If you're a heathen, it doesn't really matter what you do. You can take the chip, you cannot take the chip. You gonna fucking die here anyway. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter what you do. But if you're an Israelite, sons of so-called Negro, so-called Negro, Hispanic, Native American, and you take that chip anywhere in your body, you're done. Your goose is cooked. Right? You're gonna get burnt up, and so on and so forth. Right? In the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb, right? In the chariots, right? Because that's what they're gonna be, and the angels are gonna be there, withholding it, holding it. The life they're gonna be in the fathership with Yahweh Shai, holding the destruction, because like the brothers say, they believe how it's gonna go down is that while the destruction is coming, the angels in the chariots are gonna be like shuttle ships, and they're gonna grab the elect, beam them up, and then take them to the fathership to behold destruction of Babylon the Great, as per prophecy. Alright, so I'm gonna just let that be that. Lord, edify and say shalom.